Hey Pandalings, this is the Black Belt Panda, and I'm here in Tutorial Island, but we're not going to be here for much longer because we need to find a good location for the bunker, and I already have one planned out. And if you're using the seed for this island, then you just head off in this direction and towards these mountains here. If you want to build in the same location as I am. And here we go. This is where our bunker is going to be. Alright. So, a couple things about the bunker. This is going to be redstone bunker, as in it's going to feature a lot of redstone components. But this episode, however, is going to be centered mainly on getting the bunker set up and looking nice. So, for this bunker, you're going to need a lot of obsidian because we're making it blast proof. However, if you don't want to make it blast proof, you can use whatever material you want. It's really not a big deal. The only thing that can blow up obsidian would be a wither. The only things they can't blow up are bedrock, air, obviously, because air is indestructible, and end portal frame, so can't really build out of those legitimately. But yeah, we're going to go ahead and make the bunker here. So for the entrance to the bunker, I'm actually going to go down underground. We're going to go down a few blocks, and then we're going to start framing the entryway here with obsidian. This is just to keep it from getting blown up by anybody running around with TNT or trying to get inside your base using TNT. So, just straight down. We can use ladders. I find them here. Here they are. For transportation, in and out. Like so. And we're going to hide this entryway as well. But for now, we're just going to go down about 3 blocks. Like so. And then we're going to start building downward at an angle. So what we're going to want to do is put obsidian here. And then, actually we're going to put it right here. We're going to grab some stairs. I'm just going to use nether brick stairs. Oops. Face the right way. And remember to put obsidian under them. Like so. And I'm going to go down about 4 steps. And that's really just, you know, personal preference. Go down however far you want. So that's number 3. And that's number 4. And now we're going to go ahead and take care of the ceiling here. And we're going to go ahead and take care of the walls. Because again, we want this thing blast proof. So just replace them with obsidian. And like I said, you're going to need a lot of obsidian to do a blast proof bunker. But again, if you're not interested in blast proof, then it's going to be a little bit easier for you. So we're going to get this side here as well. And eventually this bunker is going to look extremely nice. It's going to be powered by redstone. But for now we're just going to get the basics up and running here. Okay, get this in here. And the first thing we're going to do is a neat little trick. A mob-proof door. This is going to prevent mobs from walking through in case they somehow manage to get down here. To do that, you need a slab. So we're going to put obsidian down. A slab just like that. And another slab on the roof. Now, to any player, this is a 2-block space, and you can walk through it. To a mob, however, it's only a 1-block space because mobs see these slabs as whole blocks. So they won't attempt to walk through here because their pathfinding tells them that they can't. Oops. Don't forget your obsidian. So that's a neat little method of preventing mobs from walking through. And one thing you could do as well because skeletons and creepers will still see through them, and skeletons will fire, creepers may still blow up, but if we grab some vines, we can plant one right up here, and now once those grow down, creepers and skeletons will not be able to see through them. So as long as you're behind this, you're safe. Okay, so I'm just going to get some torches here temporarily, just to make it a little bit easier to see. The obsidian is a dark material, so it kind of makes it look darker than it really is. So now, obsidian floor, walls, obsidian ceiling. And we're going to go one more block in. This is where our door is going to be. Just like that, just to make it easy to get into. So here's the room. And for this room, I think the dimensions that I'm going to go with are going to be probably 15 by 11. So I'm going to go 11 out in this direction. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. A little bit dark, get some light. So that's about how wide it's going to be in that direction. And in the other direction, I'm going to go 15. This is going to be the center, so I want to go 7 in each direction. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then I'm just going to carve out this whole area, and I'll be back once I do that. Okay, I've got the area carved out. As you see, I made it 3 blocks high. Just for comfort level, so I can jump around, doesn't feel quite so cramped. We want to make the floor out of a material that mobs cannot spawn on. And the reason for this is eventually we're going to be adding in some lights that can be turned on and off. Why? Just, because it looks cool, really. But first, we're going to grab an iron door. And we're using iron because zombies can't break it down. It's a little bit more difficult for players to break it down, and of course because it's redstone controlled and can't just be opened. For now, the door is going to be operated with a button, but that's going to change in the future when we make it lockable. So we're going to have a button there, and we're going to have a button right there. So as long as you do that, push the button, the door opens, you can get in. Just got to figure out what side we want the door on. Which side looks nicer? Not sure. I think this side looks nicer. Yep. As long as you get through in time, of course. I'm bad at that. I'm sure other people have a lot more practice with it. But for the floor, we're going to make it out of a material that mobs can't spawn on, which in this case is going to be stairs. And you might be asking, well, how are we going to make a floor out of stairs? And normally that would be a very tricky thing to do, but I found a couple ways that make it look very nice and function just like a normal floor. But first thing we want to do is clear out 2 blocks down all around this room here. So I'll be back once I have that done. Okay, so you can see I've got the floor cleared out 2 blocks down. The reason we went 2 blocks down is so we can place obsidian all along the bottom floor here. And this is just going to prevent any explosion damage from underneath. In case you've got someone running around griefing on a server, loading your base up with TNT, trying to get in from every angle. Or you're in single player and maybe you're above a cave and you've got an underground entrance or something and creepers following you, blows up. At least it won't damage the bunker. I'm sure you can think of better reasons. But for now, it's just to make the bunker 100% blast proof. So what you want to do is just line this whole bottom floor. Okay, got the bottom floor covered in obsidian. Before we put in the stair flooring, we're going to want to go around the outside edge here and replace all the outside walls with obsidian. The amount of obsidian you're going to need for this bunker really depends on the size. You definitely don't have to make it the same size that I am. I just decided this number just because it's a decent size for a main room. In the future there's going to be several rooms branching off from this main room, each serving its own purpose. Things like armory, or I don't know what you'd call that. Basically a scouting post, I guess. Something with access to the outside, view to the outside. Maybe you could shoot bow and arrows, or maybe even fireballs if you got a dispenser. And of course, the whole bunker in the end is going to be undetectable from the naked eye. So if you're outside and you're looking at this hill, you won't see anything. All the access points, all the windows, places you can shoot from, it's all going to be redstone controlled, piston controlled mechanisms to prevent any player from actually seeing that there's a bunker in this mountain. To them it'll just look like your standard old mountain, and hopefully they'll leave it alone. But now that we've got the outside edge here covered in obsidian, we're going to go ahead and grab the stairs we want to use for the flooring. I'm going to use spruce wood stairs and birch wood stairs. I'm going with a two-tone floor, and that's why I picked spruce and birch, because it's the dark and light wood, so that they'll contrast against each other very well. So to do this, we're going to start by placing the stair every other block facing in one direction, and then we're going to do the same with the birch, every other block facing the same direction, and just repeat this, all the way down the line, alternating from spruce and birch till you reach the other side. Okay, we've got that done here, and now to cover up these rows here, we're going to repeat that process, but we're going to alternate. So here we have spruce on either side. We're going to place birch facing the other direction, and then it's going to be spruce, birch, continue alternating like that, and fill every row in that same manner. Okay, so here we have the floor finished. As you can see, when I walk across it, I don't move up and down, because in order for the player to sink down on one of these stairs, there needs to be enough space to hold the player. So a whole block of space, basically. But since we don't have that, we only have half a block of space, you don't actually sink down. Pretty cool. You can walk across it just like any other floor. And do note that upside down stairs will not prevent the mobs from spawning. They will still spawn on them because they are not non-opaque. They are solid blocks. They're considered solid blocks. You can place redstone on them and mobs will still spawn on them. That's why we have to set the stairs down normally like so. However, we get this very neat zigzag sort of appearance. And I think it's raining. Okay, and now it's not. But it looks pretty good. The next thing we want to do, grab some obsidian again. We're going to go around the walls and the ceiling and just outline the whole room in obsidian to really make it blast proof. Alright, we've got the walls and ceiling replaced with obsidian. We've got a nice looking floor that prevents mobs from spawning in here, even if it's dark. Very nice. And underneath the floor, of course, is obsidian to prevent any explosion damage to the bunker. I think what I want to do here with this door is bring this out as a frame, like so. Then I'm going to set the door right on here from this side. I'm going to move the button over a block. So now if we come in, hit the button, put another button there, hit the button to go out. Very nice. Alright, one concern with these vines is that they tend to spread horizontally as well. To prevent that, all we have to do is place a button on one side. That'll prevent the vines from spreading this way. You could use anything a little more attractive if you'd prefer. Buttons just happen to be very cheap. You could use a sign, You could use an item frame or a painting. It really just depends on your personal preference, what you think looks best. I would recommend a flat object like a sign or a painting or a button, not something that sticks out and will block your movement. But I happen to like the appearance of the button, so I'm going to place that down. It's small and very out of the way. And also, let me look here. You can also use a torch if you wanted to have a torch in here. But the way this bunker is designed, or how I hope to have it designed, is to prevent mobs from spawning and to not emit any light source that would be visible from the outside. So you can see you can't see any light from the outside. So that's why I like using buttons. Let's see if I can find them here. Here we go. That's not a button. Button, button, button. You can just place them down just like that. Let's see here. Gonna change the time. Oh. Maybe put a torch down here somewhere so we can see a little bit nicer. Okay. We're gonna want to put some slabs all across here. Try to get this here. And to prevent any mobs from possibly spawning anywhere outside this door here, we don't want slabs right here because it would impede the access into the room. So what we want to do with this block right here is surround it with obsidian down here and just place a stair. It functions normally just like a regular block because again there's only a half block space here, so you won't drop down below this block here. Very useful. And this will prevent mobs from spawning because although mobs can spawn on upside down slabs, they cannot spawn on regular slabs. So they won't spawn on any of these stairs, any of these slabs. And the door is actually on this block here. You can see if I open it. Oh, no it's not. We need to put another stair there. Okay, the door is on this block here, so mobs can't spawn on this block either. So if we open that, we come in, and you can see since we have this slab right here, mobs can't walk through here. Once these vines grow down, they won't be able to see through, and they can't spawn. Very nice. Now we're going to hide the bunker a little bit from the outside. And the best way to do that is, I'm just going to clear this out here. You know, I could just do the clear command and that would work as well. Only had one item, but grab some saplings. It's best to look around and see what kind of trees exist in the area. In this case, there aren't really any trees. There's just this guy sitting here. Don't really see much of anything else. But it really helps to be in a jungle biome if you want to make a bunker. That's definitely ideal. But looks like we just got regular oak trees around, so we're going to grab some oak saplings. And we're going to grab some bone meal. And what you want to do is kind of surround the area with these saplings. Hit them with bone meal to instantly grow them. I'm just gonna get, oops. Sometimes it takes a few tries if there's some blocks impeding the growth of the tree. And just kind of go around, get the area covered pretty good, and then use bone meal on the ground to generate a lot of tall grass and flowers, which will just help to hide the access a little bit nicer. Eventually, I hope to get the access piston controlled, so you won't be able to see the hole. But this will help even with piston controlled access to just kind of keep the area from looking too suspicious. Now if we fly out here, as you can see, just looks like a bunch of trees on a hill. Might want to plant some trees up at the top here. There's one there already. just throw a couple down so it doesn't look like, you know, everywhere else is barren and there's a bunch of trees in that one spot, because that might also look suspicious. Oops, missed. There we go. And if you hit F3, you can see what biome you're in. You can see I'm in an extreme hills biome. So just make sure that you're not planting anything that doesn't belong in the biome, like planting jungle trees in a plains biome or in a snow or taiga biome. Alright, now we're just going to kind of throw some bone meal around, generate some tall grass and some flowers, make the area look like it's a little grown over. That looks pretty nice. This is a very interesting mountain, by the way. It almost kind of reminds me of a train. Kind of looks like there's some train wheels down there, and top of the train, an old-fashioned looking one or something. But if we come over here to where our entrance is, what we want to do is clear out a path. And now you can see, you can drop down in, and from the outside it's very difficult to see. Might even want to put a few more tall grass around here. And just to make it a little less suspicious, because you can kind of see the pathway right here in the leaves. We just want to break a few more of these leaves here and just kind of make it look like the trees grew this way. There we go. That's a little bit better. Very nice. So that's a good temporary solution for keeping the appearance down. We're going to break this torch now, because now we don't need it. And from the outside, come out here, and I set the time to night. Oops, a little bit more. Oh my gosh, I can't win. There we go. Alright, so it's nighttime now, and if you're just walking around here, you can't even see where the entrance is. There's no light being emitted from it at all, and that is the goal. We want this place to be pretty much invisible to the naked eye. Of course, if someone's using an X-ray pack or X-ray hack or something like that, or just one of those glitches with the piston so you can see through things, they might be able to see your bunker. But there's really not much you can do about that. So we're just going to go in here. Nice and hidden. Okay, and I think that's pretty much it for this episode. I want to put some lights up in the ceiling here that can be toggled on and off with a lever, kind of like a light switch, but we don't really have much time left in this episode to accomplish that, and that will take a little bit of time. I do want to note, however, I cannot win with these doors. I do want to note, however, that you might want to avoid placing a trap door at the top here. You can see I did not do that, because if someone's walking by and they happen to see, you know, a little bit of that trap door showing, it might catch their attention, whereas normally if you're walking by here, you might not even notice that spot right there. And again, that's the goal, is to make it very unnoticeable. There's other ways you can hide it. Just don't lose track of it, because if you put this in the middle of a forest, which is ideal, if you can find a forest, especially in a jungle where you've got a lot of tall trees and a lot of vines hanging down, that'd be a very good location to place this. You might lose it if you don't remember where it's at. So I would recommend hitting F3, standing here, and getting these coordinates, which you can see in the left of the screen there, the X, Y, and Z coordinates. They will tell you your position in three-dimensional space. You can see how the X changes when I move forward and back, the Z rather changes when I move left and right, and the Y changes when I move up and down. And if you are somewhere else, you can actually go back to those coordinates just by going to those same numbers, and you'll find your location. That's probably the best way to do it. That way you don't have to leave any signs or anything like that trying to lead your way back, which may catch someone's attention and lead them to your base. But yeah, eventually, like I said, this bunker is going to be extremely hidden. It's going to be very functional. It will be able to combat mobs and players. It will have several security features in place, That is the end goal anyway. It's going to be entirely redstone controlled. There's going to be some seriously advanced redstone going into this. But to start off, we're going to do some very basic redstone and work our way up, and I will teach you how to do it as we go so you can understand how the redstone works and how you can use it in your own bunker. That way you don't have to copy my design. You can actually make your own bunker design and use the same components, the same redstone contraptions in your bunker, and understand, you know, how they work, where you can put them, how to use them for your own bunker. That's the end goal. But we didn't really do anything redstone related in this episode aside from an iron door that's been button activated. But that's because we had to get the bunker set up and ready to go. Next episode, like I said, will be lighting. We'll get the lights into the ceiling and possibly some other very simple redstone builds, or we may, you know, expand the bunker into some other rooms after we get the lighting done in this room, and maybe do individual lighting or lighting for the whole base. Haven't decided yet. But for now, this is a pretty good wrapping up point, so thank you for watching. This is the Black Belt Panda, and I'll see you in the next video.